Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can join us here pretty soon. I'm Tom Cleavey with Anstead's Tobacco. I'm going to be joined here today with Wayne Anstead, one of our the owner of Anstead's Tobacco, and Jax, the world's greatest cigar rep from Altadis and Romeo and Julieta cigars. So hopefully everyone can join us in here. Please welcome to the show, Wayne. Wayne, how you doing today?
I'm doing just fantastic, Tom. Thank you. Jax, we're glad to have you on board here with us.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. How's everything going?
Well, things are going good. I know we're not getting visits from you anymore. All of our reps are pretty much off the road. So tell us what you do with yourself.
I guess for anybody who's on who doesn't know me, I'm actually a sales rep. I'm a sales rep for Romeo and Juliet, which we'll be talking about today, and I cover North Carolina and Virginia. And so, of course, Wayne, you're one of my favorite accounts here in North Carolina because your lounge is not only do you have a bar and converted in barn into a lounge and a humidor and a bar. Like, tell me what's going on with you. I know with the shelter in place, it's changed everything up. You're still open, but how does it all work right now with everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's interesting because you asked that because 42 years in business, everything that's going on right now is nothing you can reach in your back pocket and figure out what's the next move. So it's every day to day. Of course, we had to, because under governor's orders, we had to close the bar. And then we went to just allowing customers in the lounge for a short period of time. But that then ended about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So we're still doing, with all safety measures in mind, allowing folks to come into the store. We're taking them in the humidor one by one. We're actually selecting the cigars, kind of point and shoot. And it's tough because all the events, and we had a lot of events scheduled over the last month, this month, and next month, and absolutely everything's been canceled off our calendar. So it's just a whole different way to operate. But we appreciate the support. All of our customers have really been, our sales are obviously struggling a little bit, but the support, I'm very, very happy with all of our customers that are coming in. And a lot of folks that don't want to come in that much, they're kind of stocking up. So that helps us out of the day.
Oh, that's good. That's good. At least you guys are still operating with how you can. And I know I'm going to definitely, I know we're going to have to see how it goes, but I'm hoping that by summertime we get back up and running because, of course, every year we do patio parties and the Monte Cristo patio you guys have. And so I'm hoping that maybe by summertime things will lift a little bit, but I guess we've got to play it by ear. So
yeah, because we're looking at different things. Our internet business has been phenomenal. We went fully operational at Ansteads.com over a year ago. So every day I sit on my computer and it just pops up web order in, which is kind of nice to see.
Nice.
We're doing anything from people coming in, picking them up, or they can order online and we'll actually meet them at the curb for it. So all they have to do is call us, text us, and we carry it out to them. But
nice.
We're trying to think outside the box a little bit. My oldest son and I went to a shooting range this morning, sporting clays, and I thought, man, maybe it's a great way to get some customers together and social distancing because nobody's on top of each other while you're shooting like that in a sporting clay. So we're thinking of still trying to figure out a way to make some kind of cigar event happen the next month or two.
Yeah, no, keep us informed. I definitely want to participate in any way we can as far as that goes. Especially since with some of the new blends that we have. We're still moving forward with our launches with, as you know, we'll talk about today in the show, some of the Romeo and Juliets that have been working well in your humidor, and then some of the things that are coming down the pipeline as well. So definitely.
So Tom, who do we have out there visiting with us?
Well, today we've got quite a few people already. We've got Frankie Rodriguez, and hopefully he'll tell us what he's smoking today. I think a bunch of us, Frankie, we're going to be smoking this really nice new Romeo that we're going to talk about later. It's pretty nice. We've got Jason Kennedy, who has joined us, Jake Leeser, Cindy, Andre, Dottie Jordan's online, Cal Mueller. Thanks for joining us, bud. Someone really famous, Ben Anstead's on the line.
Hey,
So,
son.
Hey.
Ben, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ben.
Good to hear from you.
Nice.
A few more people coming in, which is great. Please let us know what you're smoking, where you're from, so we know how far we're going out there in the World Wide Web. So today we're going to talk about some of the cigars for this show, some classics, some new ones, and a new cigar that's coming out, supposed to ship next month. We're going to talk about some more things that Anstead's is doing right now, what's going on, and then we're going to have some raffles today. We'll explain those as we get to those. But I'm going to turn it over to Jax, let her talk about the 1875 Nicaraguan, one of our favorites here at Anstead.
Can I jump in first, Tom?
Sure, Wayne. You go ahead and jump in.
All right. So, Jax, we have a question.
Yeah.
So, Romeo and Julieta is a flag cigar for you guys. What do you think made the company decide to go the Nicaraguan direction a year or so ago?
Yeah, well, I know that, as far as the industry goes, we're one of the big guys. We have our classic core lines that do really well, and as in the U.S. the tobacco industry has expanded, a lot of people have gone, let's say boutique, right? Like a lot of people want to try other product from either, AJ Fernandez or either Nestor Plasencia or whatnot. And so our major factory is in the Dominican. As you know, it's one of the biggest factories, and we produce a majority of our tobacco there. But expanding out and tapping in and collaborating with some of the guys who make great tobacco like Plasencia and AJ, that was part of the reason why we chose to jump on board, is because we wanted to expand our lineup, but also try to reach other smokers as far as those who only smoke Nicaraguan tobacco, who aren't very, I guess they have a favorite flavor profile. Some don't like Dominican tobacco, some don't like Honduran tobacco. So to expand our portfolio, we collaborated with some of the top guys in Nicaragua to some blends for us, but to make them core line blends so we can actually expand our clientele base. So I'm excited about them because a lot of the collaborations we have done have kind of put our brand back in the forefront, whereas everybody's familiar with Monte Cristo and Romeo and Juliet because they're in everybody's humidor, right? It's like the Pepsi Cola of a shop. It's going to be there. So to be able to collaborate and put a little twist into our core line, I think we have the opportunity to bring new clientele who primarily only smoke boutique lines.
Well, and it's true because it's been kind of exciting to have a brand like Romeo and Juliet. It's been a staple for us. I think as long as I've been in the cigar business, 40 years, I remember carrying Romeo and Juliet as one way or the other. But it's just exploded with the new cigar. So why don't you tell us about the different ones?
Yeah. So the first one I'll talk about, as Tom mentioned, is we have, which does well in your humidor, is the 1875 Nicaragua, right? So that one, of course, is a Nicaraguan puro. Its wrapper, binder, filler is going to be a Nicaraguan Habano. Now, this does come from the Plasencia family, but it's, of course, with FDA regulations, we've kind of just been very vague in regards to the wrapper, binder, filler, just indicating which region it comes from. But this one has a lot of flavor to it. So it's part of an expansion of our 1875 line. And The other blends are a blend of either Dominican, Nicaraguan tobacco. It has an Indonesian shade, which is the original 1875 line. This one, if you haven't tried it, it is a light to medium bodied cigar, but the flavor profile that Plasencia has in his tobacco just really makes it very unique from our original 1875 line. So that one's really flavorful, and it does well for your humidor.
Yeah. It's become one of my favorites, and a lot of folks here at the store. And we're still missing the Toro, something terrible.
So back order. It's the most popular size, that's for sure.
So real quick question, how with all the COVID-19 stuff, how's your all's back orders doing? Are y'all keeping product in okay?
Yeah, so I know that we did have to shut down the factory in the Dominican. Luckily, Nicaragua, they're still making their cigars, and we're still getting shipments. We're getting flights in every now and again as they come through. But even though our factory has had to temporarily close down because of COVID-19, we have plenty of inventory. We actually keep a warehouse in Florida. So as soon as product's made, it's shipped in and it's stored in Florida. And so a majority of our product is ready to go. It's a lot of our newer lines that come from, some of our partnered collaborations that are doing really well. We have a little bit of a back order, but AJ Fernandez and Plasencia they're on it, and so they're coming in, and as they trickle in, they're getting shipped out. So
awesome.
So it's not too bad of an issue to have at this time. So we're good.
We had 1875, and now you've come out with the Connecticut. Tell us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the 1875 Connecticut is also Nicaraguan Puro that comes from the Plasencia family. Now, this one, the unique thing about this is that they finally grew a Connecticut seed, like the Connecticut shade, in Nicaragua. And so the wrapper on this particular blend is Connecticut grown in Nicaragua, but Nicaraguan Puro still is wrapper, binder, filler, and again from the Plasencia family. I want to say that this one's really light. I've smoked it a few times, and I want to say to me it's a little bit lighter than our core line Reserve Real. I mean, I think because of the Connecticut wrapper, it just gives it a very subtle taste. Where I want to say even though it's Nicaraguan, it's a little bit of flavor, but it's very smooth, very smooth. So any cigar smoker that possibly smokes like flavored infused that maybe wants to jump in and do a complete all natural cigar, this would be one that I would definitely say, hey, if you want to ease into it, this is very smooth, light, that it is not too much on your palate where it won't be, I guess, too intrusive to your flavor palette. So,
and it seems that way too, because the nice thing about the Connecticut wrapper grown in Nicaragua, just like Indonesia, I think the volcanic soil down there adds something to the tobacco, and you get a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You get the strength. So for somebody new, you're getting a nice flavor profile.
Yeah,
without being overwhelmed. So it's definitely a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic smoke, and
Yeah.
I can't wait till we get a whole lot more of them in. It's gonna be pretty good.
They're on the way. They're definitely on the way.
So I told you we were also going to do some raffles today. There's kind of like a trivia questions in a sense. You may have to study for them, but the way we're going to run this is I'll ask a question. You guys have plenty of time to answer it. Whoever answers it correctly is going to receive one of these fantastic real raffle tickets. Now we're going to let this run for a couple days so you can do your homework, research, and come back to the video on Facebook, post a comment. So everyone who posts live is going to get Facebook, their name attached to one of these tickets. And then Monday, we're going to go live again on Facebook here, and we're going to draw those live. And Wayne, show them what somebody might win today, or Monday, I should say. They're going to win this fantastic cigar band tube. Tell us about that, Jax.
So that is actually a new thing we've got. We understand that a lot of our consumers collect cigar bands. So this is actually a cigar band bank, kind of like a piggy bank, but you keep your cigar bands in there. And so it's at the top, it's like, hey Tam, sorry. So at the top, it has a little slit where you could throw your bands in there, and it also can be hung in the wall. So if you've got a man cave or a she shed, but You can. She should. You can hang that on there.
If the sheet had burned down, maybe your insurance get a new one.
So
Not available in stores. So the only way you get it is through a promotion like this.
That's true. So with that, I'm going to throw out the first question and let you guys look into that and call your friends and phone a friend and all those things. The first one is, when did Anstead's move to its current location in the Big Red Barn? Officially, the official year. It's all I'm looking for is the year. So put that in your comments, and I'll keep checking those all weekend long. And then Monday, all correct answers, get a raffle ticket. We're going to draw it live, and we're going to see what's happening with that. Back to you, Wayne. Go ahead.
So we got 1875 Nicaraguan. We got the Connecticut. And we're kind of excited. We're actually smoking one here right now. The first prototypes were slipped out to us.
yes,
This is Reserve Real, which is probably the most popular line in Romeo and Julieta. So this is basically a line extension of Nicaraguan. Tell us a little bit.
yeah. So Reserve Real is definitely one of our core line, but it's one of our most popular brands. I like it because I like to refer to it as like the Jack Daniels of cigars, because one, everybody has it. Two, reasonable price point. And three, you know what you're going to get. And so since Reserve Real has done so well for us, we have expanded the line, and we actually went the Nicaraguan route. AJ Fernandez has partnered up with us. They collaborated along with Rafael Nadal. So Rafael Nadal and AJ Fernandez came together, did a blend, created this new Reserve Real Nicaragua. It actually has not shipped yet, but it's scheduled to ship, I think, early next month. I want to say that I've smoked it a few times. I smoked it with my team last night, and there's more body to it than the regular Reserve Real. The regular Reserve Real is very light. It's smooth. It has, the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrap, where this one here, of course, Nicaraguan Puro, has wrapper, binder, filler Nicaraguan. I want to say it's a solid medium, right? A light to medium. So for anybody who feels like, okay, Reserve Real's too light for me, and they're more seasoned smokers, Reserve Real Nicaragua, I think, would be a great one to try out. I mean, if you're not a Romeo and Juliet smoker, because I understand, because I was one of those, if you're not a core line smoker, I think you might like this blend from AJ Fernandez. It's medium bodied, might be a good it might be a good morning smoke for those who actually have like a more seasoned palate, who like something a little bit more fuller body, because this is a good solid medium. It's different. It's definitely different. So something to try out. And I wouldn't compare it at all to the regular Reserve Real. So they're together in as far as the line goes, but I think that they're a great complement to each other. One's Dominican and one is Nicaraguan, and so it's a great addition to our portfolio.
I think you can taste that Nicaraguan profile really well.
Oh.
There's a little bit of spice. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. I said
Gotcha.
I think the Nicaraguan profile comes through really well. There's a little bit of more of a spice to it, a sweetness, in my opinion, but it's pretty good. I know I'm enjoying it, as many of you all will, very soon. Very soon.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
Well,
you.
Jax, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jax?
I could hear you, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we don't need him anyway. So just out of curiosity, I mean, you're kind of a partner company with us at Anstead's. Our patio is sponsored by Monte Cristo. If anybody's ever noticed the umbrellas and the poles that stop cars from running into our post. What challenges are to launch a new brand during this time? What do you guys, so I'm glad to have you on, so we can kind of introduce this to our customers. Now they know it's coming. How are you guys going to get this out in the industry?
Well, so I know this is new for us, as far as, like, of course, nobody was expecting a pandemic and a stay-at-home, shelter in place. I know that. What's that?
I'm sorry, they said the Democrats knew it was coming. So.
Yeah, well, it's new for us. I know that we had a launch set, especially because Reserve Real is one of our top brands. We had something set up. Our marketing team did a phenomenal job creating all these things. We've got a golf theme going on. We're giving away golf bags. And of course, this happens. And now it's like, now what, And so they made the decision that, we're going to continue to move forward with it, because if we were to withhold, then things will just stack up towards the end. But, we feel that this is a very strong line and such a strong name behind it that we're going to push forward. We are going to attempt to do like a virtual launch. We're going to try to get people engaged. I know that a lot of our reps are we're trying to utilize social media the best we can, and it's still very new for us, but it's exciting because consumers are extremely engaged. They want to know what's going on. They want to participate. I mean, a whole bunch of people are doing like live or virtual herfs, right? So we're all smoking together, and I've joined a few of them, and everybody's still smoking cigars, which is a great thing. I see Frankie has a question, and if everybody doesn't see it, it says, "How will the sale of Altadis affect what you do?" Wayne, do you mind if I answer this?
Go right ahead. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, somebody was bound to ask, huh, Frankie? You want to just throw me out there like that, huh? No. So the sale, actually, it doesn't affect what I do. I mean, I think the pandemic has affected the way everybody does business. So the sale is actually, it doesn't really affect what's going on now. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all read what Half Wheels posted, or even Cigar Aficionado has posted, and they're pretty much on point with how the breakdown goes. So if you want to check that out, read some of the articles that are out there from Cigar Aficionado and from Half Wheel and all that. It's what's going on. We've been reassured that business as usual. We've got acquired by a company who wants to keep everybody in place, and so it won't affect me directly as a rep. So it's not like we were acquired by an existing tobacco company that has their own people in place. So
They need you.
I guess. What's that?
They need you.
Oh, of course. They need me, of course. And so I think that goes along with what you're saying, like, how are we going to do this launch? So as a rep, knowing I can't be on the road, I think I have to overcompensate and figure out how, through social media, through some sort of digital launch, we can get your consumers, to know what the product is and to ask about it and to even go by the shop and pick it up, So being able to, like with Wayne, with you still operating business, to be able to still do things like this, be on live, but then also run promotions with you, run some deals with you, because we can still do all of that.
Awesome. Tom, did anybody else have any questions for us?
Let's see. I'm looking for some questions at the moment. Not yet. I have a nice one here from Sean. Sean says, "Send free cigars." Well, I think we're doing something just like that.
The Easter Bunny caught up with COVID-19.
Go ahead, Wayne, and tell them about our special we're going to run, and then we're going to do another raffle.
Yeah, so kind of help promote the cigar, even though I think the 1st of May, the new cigar is going to ship. So hopefully Jax will get them out quick. We're going to do an in-store for the next week. Buy 4, get 1 free. It could be any of the Altadis line, but it has to include one of the cigars we talked about tonight. So either the 1875 Nicaragua or the 1875 Connecticut. Buy 4 cigars and we'll give you a free cigar as well.
Yeah. And by the way, we also got a survival kit that's coming out as well. Wayne's also bringing into Anstead's. We have, for a limited time during the shelter in place, we've got what we call a survival kit, which I think is going to MSRP $70. You get 9 of cigars, which are their iconic 9. You get 3 Monte Cristos, 3 Romeo and Juliets, and 3 H. Upmans. You get an ashtray, a cutter, a single torch lighter, box matches, all within a humidified bag. So this is a survival kit. Buy it. You can take it with you, and you got everything you need. You can go to the park, go to your garage. You can gift it to a new cigar smoker because, of course, with a lot of our core lines are on the lighter side. But this is a limited time thing. So Sean, it's not free, but hey, it's a great value. I saw your comment.
The iconic brand sampler, the assortment's in there, which is a great across the line representation of Altadis brands, and it's one of the best sellers we have at Christmas and during different times of the year. So the free gift stuff that come with it's a heck of a deal. We appreciate you guys supporting us with stuff like that. We'll have it online as soon as it shows up here. We can get a SKU and a barcode number on it, so you can order it online if you want to. Again, online at Antsteds.com, or you can pick it up in the store or order it as well for curbside pickup. So makes it quick and easy.
All right, well, that sounds pretty good. I look forward to getting these kits in and making sure that everyone can survive this terrible pandemic we're all going through. Thank you, Jax, for saving our lives. And she's got herself a nice cocktail to start the day with. That's great.
You know, I needed some liquid courage, so Jack Daniels is my go-to. I mean, it's 3 o'clock, right? It's 3 o'clock.
All matters.
Hope my boss isn't on here.
For the next raffle, Wayne's got a trick question, so pay attention closely because you may have to do your homework to figure this one out. Go ahead, Wayne.
So I'm not sure who all will know the answer to this, but before Altadis acquired the Romeo and Julieta line, do you know who distributed it and who manufactured it? And this would go back to the 80s or the early 90s when the transition happened. So if anybody knows who distributed it, or who actually made the cigar back then. I think during the cigar boom, any of those folks who were around and actually experienced it, it was impossible to get cigars. Our humidor now is substantially bigger than what we've had in the past. But if you can imagine the humidor in there today with less than half of the cigars on the shelf, less than half, because we couldn't get cigars. Nobody had them. Romeo and Julieta was distributed by one company, and it was made by an individual that has his own brand. So priority didn't go to other folks' cigars. It went to their own branded cigars. So little trick question, so you can do a little bit of research and find out who had that. Jackson.
Was it Royal Jamaican?
That's my boss right there. I got to say hi to my boss, Alex. I see ya. I see ya.
Was Royal Jamaican the people that made the original Romeo and Julieta?
No, Romeo, that was a general product. So that was a different product altogether.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about then. I'll just stick to what I do. So, yes, Jax was drinking apple juice. Okay, Paul? It's apple juice.
Yes.
You want to stay healthy during this entire thing that's going on.
It's just a Jack Daniels cup. That's it. That's all
it was convenient. It was the only glass that was clean. Right?
right. Hey, Paul.
So that was Wayne's trick question. And we'll have another one a little bit later on, which is probably another historical question for you to look up. But what else is going on, Wayne, these days? Tell us what we're doing at the shop. I know what we're doing, but I'll let you tell everybody.
Well, it's interesting. You know, it's the hours that we've been reduced to has eliminated the equivalent of 3 full-time people. We're pretty much the way we're operating now with carrying customers into the humidor one by one and selecting cigars, try to maintain social distancing. It takes a pretty healthy staff to control it all. So there's plenty of folks here to give you a hand. Overall, I want to thank all of our customers either online at Antsteds.com or coming to the store that supported us through this. I know there's a lot of shops out there I read on different posts from time to time that are shuttered down completely. And I just cannot imagine. We have the bar that's completely closed. All the staff, had to be laid off, and that was just a hard decision to make. But not lucky, one of the lucky ones to get the PPP loans. So nobody was giving us money to keep people on the payroll. But we've got another round coming. It may happen. Love to be able to bring them back. Here at the store, we've been kind of, Tom and I from earlier on this year, we're trying to figure out how the place need to be repainted. We need to update a few things. We've been here, I won't say how many years, because I think that might have been a question. But it was just time to get some work done in here. So we're struggling. How do we get painters in from midnight to 4 a.m. and trying to get bids? And it was pretty tough. And all of kind of showed up. So everything in the store is just, we've gone through and repainted everything, reworked everything, cleaning, restaining the floors, just everything. So it's going to look like a brand spanking new Antsteds when we finally reopen. And we're hoping to have some kind of event when the big opening happens. So we're
hopefully I'm invited to that. I'm looking forward to this getting lifted. Hopefully once, I guess we have a either a vaccine or a cure, but please keep us informed on what Ansteds is doing, because anything we can do to support, we'll be there.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
That's great.
I love it. Yeah. So again, we're looking at some things that we can possibly do over the next month to kind of get maybe some cigar folks together in a sense of still looking after all the social distancing requirements we have. It's exciting to see South Carolina and Georgia starting to open their doors. So maybe other states will start to follow through. And like I said, the question is, when are we going to reopen the lounge? And it makes my head explode every time I hear it, because I just can't even imagine what the answer is. So.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and allowing me to talk about some of the products, Romeo and Juliet, the stuff that's doing well for you, and the new stuff that's coming out.
Cool.
So
Jackson, we appreciate you having you. And Tom, I want to thank you for putting this all together for us. He's
the man.
I got that last question.
Okay.
So hopefully I was paying attention. This is a doozy, but so it's not a Romeo question. It's a Monte Cristo question.
Okay.
But in what factory and who created the original Monte Cristo cigar? It's a fun fact that there's actually a cigar in our humidor named after that factory. And it's a really good cigar, but still, who invented the Monte Cristo cigar or came up with it? And what factory was it in? And this is easy to find if you're any good with the interwebs. So that's, do you know this, Jax? Do you know this question? This answer?
I know, I don't.
You might be able to find the right answer. I don't know. So I'm sorry, I forgot the disclaimer. Altadis employees and their affiliates are not eligible to win any prizes during this contest.
Oh, dang. Well, you guys make sure you leave a comment with the answers so that Tom can put you in the raffle to win some of those wall banks.
They're pretty cool. I know a buddy of mine got one of those prototypes, and we're filling it up rapidly at his lounge. It's pretty sweet, and I'm sure people are going to like these things. So, again, thank you, Jax, for taking the time out of your day to join us.
Thank
Our
you.
first
Absolutely.
inaugural webcast broadcast Facebook Live event, and we hope to hear back from you soon. Wayne, thanks for joining us today. Any parting comments from you both?
Again, Dex, thanks for coming out and doing this with us. It's kind of a fun way to interact with customers. When all those years we were in the mall, you just really didn't know your customers, and now all of a sudden you do. And now you don't really get to sit down and talk. And I got a tough job, sit around, smoke cigars, and engage people. So I miss that part of the job. So we can't wait for it to be over. But thanks for coming on, bringing us out, and helping us, get a little information out to our customers and tell them about some of the new stuff that's happening.
Thank you so much. For everybody that's watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to light one up with you guys soon. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, y'all, for coming.
All right. Bye.